Hey, I'm in Cabo San Lucas today, and welcome to Power Players, where I interview some of the most powerful people on the planet, some of the most successful and interesting people. Today, I have one of the most accomplished lawyers, political pundits, and media personalities of all time, Kimberly Guilfoyle. She's got an impressive track record in the legal world. She worked as a prosecutor in San Francisco and Los Angeles for many years, went on to work as a legal analyst for, CNN, and then co-hosted the popular show The Five on Fox News. Guilfoyle's most notable accomplishment, however, is her role as senior advisor to the Trump 2020 re-election. She was a prominent figure in the Trump administration, and her contributions were widely recognized. Kimberly is the host of the Kimberly Guilfoyle Show on Rumble. You got to check it out, man. It's hot. She's got some great guests. Today, I hope to explore with Kimberly about her life, her career, her successes, her challenges, her experiences in detail in political world and in the legal world, and her insights on all that. The conversation promises to be engaging and thoughtful, provoking, offering valuable insights into the world of politics and media. Let's welcome Kimberly Guilfoyle. Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure. I've known you for, a dozen years, watching your career in TV, and now to see what you're doing, like you have transitioned to so many different stages, been a great voice for not just women, but for go-doers and people that get it done and people that are successful. So I really appreciate you being here today with my audience.
Yeah, well, it is an honor and a pleasure to be reunited with you. And, I'm a big fan of yours, and we have so many kind of parallels in terms of the way we approach life, the way we think about things, the way we get after it. And I love that you have inspired so many people and changed their life. And I think for me, even if you reach one person and get them to make a change or to do something or to believe in themselves, to get after it, like that is a big impact. And that is generational. It can affect the whole family unit, the children, generations to come. So I love the way that we can spread good by trying to help others.
Yeah. So Kimberly, have you always been like that? Like what made that? Is that it was your upbringing?
Very good question. So I have really, since I can first remember, been like that, because my favorite t-shirt when I was a little girl growing up, and I always used to wash it to wear it again, was plan ahead. Okay. I loved it. And it just said everything about who I am. I'm like, let's go after this. Let's plan it. Let's make it happen. I was always trying to jump forward to the next thing. And I was raised by my mother until I was 10 years of age. And sadly, she passed away. But she gave me so many tools and qualities and so much character that she built into me and my little brother that it's carried me throughout life. And I give tremendous credit to my father. And I think having a father be sort of like the mother and father role for me was very good, because he tried his very best to be nurturing, but at the same time to make me tough. He knew I was smart, intelligent. I always wanted to go to school, and I had perfect attendance. And, I would cry if I was sick, so I didn't want to miss school. Please bring my homework, all that type of stuff. So he knew that I was smart that way, but he wanted me to make sure that I was street smart as well, and that I wasn't going to get taken advantage of in life. And he really instilled in me, hey, as a woman, there isn't anything, and as a girl, that, a boy can do or a man can do that you can't. And it was very strong, powerful, positive, thinking. And I remember one time I came home and I was like, oh, Dad, I'm going to go and, try out. I'm going to be on the cheerleading squad for the school, whatever. My dad was like, that's fantastic. I support what you want to do, but you're blessed with tremendous athletic ability. You can play ball like I've never seen. He said, so how about you go and try out for that team, and let somebody else cheer for you. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I did. And I became, captain of my varsity fast pitch softball team. And I was only a freshman. So, yeah. And we went undefeated, won all our games, the championships, everything. So I helped pick the team. And that was my first ability to be able to inspire young women and be that team leader, that team captain, and really pump them up and give them everything like my father gave to me. Because I do feel like when you've been abundantly blessed, it's imperative to give back. And it doesn't mean not just charitably, it means of your time, of your thoughts, of your idea, your passion, your purpose, that you can give it to somebody else. It becomes infectious. And sometimes all they need is one person to believe in them, right? To tell them you can do this and it can change. everything for them and for their families.
Curious, what position did you play in softball?
First base.
Okay. So
first base. So I called the plays.
Were you the leader of the team?
Yes, I was a leader of the team. I also lead off because I would get the rallies going, because I would get up and I just would like eat it alive. Like I would just look at that pitcher like, I'm going to eat you alive. I'm going to smash this ball. And I had patience at the plate where I would wait for my pitch. I mean, they were sweating there. Oh man, this chick. And I'm like, nope, I don't like it. Nope, I don't like it. You have the confidence to know when to smash the ball. Like you just don't swing at the first pitch. Like be confident in yourself and your ability. So I was like infamous for like a 3-2, like a full count, right? And they're like, oh my God, let's see what happens here. And then sure enough, the pitcher would usually choke or I'd hit the ball. And I wasn't like the most powerful hitter on the team, but I had the highest on base percentage. I'd get on first base or I'd get a double. And what I would do is I had a plan of what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on base, whether I get walks, right? The pitcher walks me or I hit it and I get it. Doesn't matter. I'm on base. And once I'm on base, boom, mama's got wheels. I would just steal every damn base. My coach would be saying, no,
mama's got
and
wheels.
I was like, don't steal. Who steals home base? I do. So he's like, no, like don't go. But I was so fast. I ran so fast. And I would hit him so hard when I came in that if I didn't beat it before the ball was there, they're throwing, they dropped the ball. And I would go in so hard. And it was so fun that I absolutely loved it. My father loved it, so I loved playing sports. When my mom passed away, my dad cemented the backyard, the grass and everything. And we had this one, like, when they have the gophers and the moles, and it was getting the best of us. So like 15 different holes in the grass. My dad's like, I'm going to get this thing one way or the other. We cemented the whole thing. We put it in a regulation basketball hoop, and I would run games back there every day after school, invite the kids from the neighborhood, and we would play, and I would play against all the boys. And then also the other thing that affected me was that in a great defense, like I was like the wall, and I would move fast and block them out. You got a good Puerto Rican butt, block them out. They can't get in the shot. Everyone's laughing. And also it was so cool because my dad wanted me to be strong to fight. So we put in a punching bag, right? So I would work out and I would box and do everything like that. And I would practice all my stuff. And he put me in karate, and I took Shaolin Kempo and Taekwondo, and I would fight every day in there, and I would fight against all the guys, and I would just love it. And they would never see it, coming.
How big was the family?
So it was my mother, Mercedes, who was born in Aguadilla, in Puerto Rico. My father, Anthony Guilfoyle, born in Ennis, County Clare, Ireland. They met in San Francisco, fell in love. And my brother, Tony, and my brother is very successful. I'm really proud of him. I helped raise him because he was younger than me when my mom died. And he's helping to run all of Celsius energy drink. And that's, one of the fastest growing companies, surpassing Tesla in the past decade. So we're a family who gets after it, and like I said, I really credit my parents. When you said the first question, how did this come about? How did you get to be the way you are? Upbringing, and just a very thirsty, aggressive work ethic. I love to work. I'm not too comfortable on vacation because I have too many ideas and so much passion that I want to get after things. I love business. And here's the thing. People can't just think like you're just one person and there's one chapter in life. It's not like that. And it shouldn't be like that. Don't be afraid to try something new, to try to invest in yourself, try to believe in yourself and pick something. Don't let anyone tell you that your goals are too high or you're too aspirational, or what do you think? You can't just will things to happen. Yes, you can. People say that to me all the time, and I do it every single time. Just because I haven't done it before doesn't mean that I can't do it now. So whether working as a special education teacher, working as a prosecutor, I was a model, actress, commercial, movies, business owner, was a female owner, one in Plum Jack Winery, which is one of the top wineries, in the country. And we were one of the first people to put screw cap on a high-end wine. We are 94 points from Robert Parker. So, study a little viticulture as well at UC Davis. And so I love doing things, and I love being active and involved. And I think it keeps you young and looking good too, because you're using your mind, your body to be fully expressive. And then I ended up trying a bunch of different cases, like the dog mulling case out of San Francisco. Took it to the grand jury, got that done, got both of them convicted. These are people that had Presa Canario dogs that killed a young woman who was a national champion lacrosse player and coach at St. Mary's in California. That got a lot of press attention. And I was the first person and prosecutor, and it's now law, a case law in the United States of America for second-degree implied malice murder. That was the theory that I did to convict these two attorneys that had this dog that killed by showing conscious disregard of a known risk likely to result in great bodily injury or death, and had never been done before. And so it was pretty cool that now it's taught, in law schools across the country. And everyone's like, well, you're crazy. You can't do that. What? I can't hear you. I don't hear negativity. I just want solutions. I want to say, what are we going to do to fix this? So
where did that, did your dad, what was your dad preparing you for? He encouraged you to go play sports, encouraged you to do the attack, the self-defense. And then it sounds like somebody was pushing you to you can do things. Is that true?
Yeah, but my dad was saying that to me. He said, Kimberly, you can do this. Whatever it was I was helping run somebody's campaign, right? In school, they wanted to be this, class president, whatever. My dad's like, look, you're doing all the work. You're the best talk. You can connect and communicate with people. Why don't you run? And then I ran and I won,
Wow.
So my senior class. And so it was cool.
Yeah, I'm curious. So was that because he did himself, or he came from Ireland, came to America, and he just had this great appreciation for possibility in this country? I mean,
he had a great, deep love and patriotism for this country. And he says, if you're able to be in this country and come to the country and have the opportunity to work and to provide, you make the most of it. And so he really worked very, very hard. He would always do extra, jobs and things like that. And then he invested in, real estate and apartment buildings. I mean, everything coming, from scratch. He built the on-ramp for the Golden Gate Bridge, and he worked very hard. He grew up very poor in Ireland during that time. It was very tough, and he had to work. He was 13 to provide for his brothers and sisters. His dad had to leave to go to England to try to find work, and his mother was very sick and was in the hospital a long time after the last baby. So he took that baby home by himself. They didn't have very much. He took one of the dresser drawers and made a little bed for the baby and took care of it. But that's how he was. And he worked in a blacksmith shop, really hard, long hours, as a child in Ireland, just to be able to provide. So when you see that kind of attitude, I don't like these other people that are so soft and complain that they don't have this or that. Go out and get it. What's stopping you from trying to achieve? Work hard, get one job, maybe move to another job. If you're unhappy in a relationship, in a job, or you don't like the way your life is going, make a plan to fix it. Yeah. And I know it's words, but it's actually use your mind and convince yourself and actually put some effort in. And if you fail, try something again. People stay in jobs that they don't like, that are miserable, and I don't understand it. It's you've got to try to do something else.
Yeah, look, when I listen to you, I'm I think what happened, and just tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, but your passion about and your conviction about, hey, just go do it, comes from the fact it's not an idea to you. It's the validation of your life. You're a woman that became a lawyer that became, had her own TV
undefeated show. Prosecutor.
Undefeated, excuse me.
Never lost the case.
It went into media, and now, I mean, you've been involved in politics for what, 20 years?
Yeah, because I started out, in San Francisco. I mean, I was one of the youngest.
On the other side, you started out on the other side.
No, here we go. Now we're gonna set the facts straight. Okay. I have been a registered Republican and a conservative my entire life, and loved the opportunity to register as a Republican, vote as a Republican from day one. So people say to me, "Oh, what's going on here with Gavin Newsom?" And you were, I said, no, okay. Not true. Fake news. You know why? Because, and I was one of the founders and was part of the Young Republicans at UC Davis.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. But I mean, he was a Democrat at the time, right?
1,000%, but he was actually very moderate. And times are very different in San Francisco and in the Democrat Party, with liberal ideology now. Right. Than it was then. I mean, things are very, very different. And so that's why we always say, hey, this isn't your uncle's Democrat Party anymore. It's not what you were used to, what you were thinking about. I think that's why so many people were really attracted to the Trump like populism and, you know, his America First agenda, and working really hard and not forgetting the, you know, hardworking men and women of this country that were kind of left behind by both parties. So
Yeah,
it's
so
always
now-
been my politics, and Gavin knows that as well. He tried
Yeah.
to say, "Oh, did Kimberly get influenced by the culture at Fox News?"
Yeah, but I mean,
I
this
mean,
guy,
if you
he's
know
gone-
me, I'm a pretty tough customer. No one's pushing me around, and nobody's telling me what to say or do or think.
He's he's gone way over. I lived in California for 25 years. I mean, you were brought up in San Francisco. So what's the change there?
I think just the party politics, and he tends to be somebody that will go that way in that direction. Now, I really, you know, admired him. You know, when I first met him, everything was very hardworking. He, you know, was working multiple jobs. He's a very good entrepreneur, came up with a lot of business ideas, launched all these restaurants, helped launch, you know, the winery. So he's done very well, and all through, you know, hard work. He was raised by a single mother, Tessa Newsom, who I really love, was a very special lady. His sister works really hard. I saw him one of the first times I out sweeping the streets in front of his little boutique, like wine shop. And it was one of the first businesses that he made. And he was sitting there sweeping, and he got the car and was delivering all the stuff at Christmas to, you know, for the orders. And there wasn't any job that he wouldn't do. He worked really hard. So I admired that. And then he wanted to go into public service to give back to San Francisco, the city that he loved. He's always been aspirational to, you know, be in politics and do that. So he was able to do it. I did 6 campaigns, you know, with him, including a very contentious mayor's race that we won. And, you know, anyone around him will tell you that it was a big part of it, helped pick his whole team from chief of staff, you know, down in the San Francisco at City Hall. And so, you know, it was interesting to be first lady and, you know, entertaining heads of state and, you know, chief of protocol. We worked very closely together to do all these events. One of the first times that Prince Charles came to the United States with Camilla. And so anyway, it was just an interesting time. But San Francisco was clean. The streets were clean. We fought really hard to make sure that there was law and order, that there was prosperity. There was a lot of interplay with, you know, Silicon Valley. We did the program CARE, not cash. So they were, you know, to cut down on subsidizing drug addiction and making sure that people had, we had drug court at the DA's office, and we would interface with that to make sure that people were able to get out, get help, get, you know, rehab, whatever they needed, and then help them in phase 2 to be able to get reemployment, whether it was like, you know, suits, like, or dresses that we would do, you know, for women. Worked really hard on family reunification. If there was, you know, parents that had problems, substance abuse, to be able to try to reunite them with their kids when they were clean and healthy. So it was a lot of very good things that we were working on. And I'm telling you, San Francisco was beautiful, and I was proud, and it was safe. And it's just completely unrecognizable. And that's what we're seeing in metropolitan cities that are Democrat and liberal led. And that is what California is doing. And that's the, you know, Gavin Newsom's California compared to, you know, what we're seeing in other states like Florida, where, you know, now we choose to live. So I think the juxtaposition is quite striking for people. And, you know, I think the country always corrects itself. I mean, there's only so much you're going to put up with dollar devaluation, inflation, high taxes, you know, lack of safety security on the national stage in terms of foreign policy and national security. I mean, I've seen it all, you know, and it's been interesting because I was able to cover the politics and what was happening in the world in the news as a journalist. And then I was, you know, able to have a front row seat working with the president of the United States and seeing everything from that perspective as well.
Now, when you went, was there a transition from the media to the political role that you have? Like, did you have to give the media piece up when you went?
Yes, because when you're then exclusive and working for the president, you can't be a journalist, and plus you can't be in 2 places at one time.
What about
again? That was like a new chapter, you know.
Yeah. What about
I worked
with
for
Gavin?
Fox News, CNN, ABC News, Core TV. I've done it all.
Yeah.
And so I've seen all the different newsrooms and networks. With Gavin, so I was married to him and doing the dog mauling case, and I had the contract out to have me killed. So that was kind of interesting. That was in place when we got,
We had a hit on
married. We had a bomb sniffing dog to go through the church. Yeah, it's just crazy. But that was, from the Aryan Brotherhood, but they don't scare me. You know, I wasn't going to get off the case. And then what? give the problem and give the death threats to someone else, because the two people that owned the dogs were keeping them for inmates in Pelican Bay. They were in the secure housing unit called the SHU, maximum security prison. And they were very upset because I uncovered everything that these attorneys were working with the Aryan Brotherhood, who was running a dog breeding ring to help serve guard meth labs, drug labs, and they were working with the Mexican mafia. It was a whole big thing that I uncovered, so no one was too happy that I figured it all out. And
so what is it?
All of them.
Yeah. Now, where were you the night 45-1? Were you there at that time?
Yes, I was at Fox News, actually, still on the air and working there. And then, so I remember exactly where I was, because, we were covering it all, and I was on air. We had, all our top talent covering the results, et cetera. And then there was a kind of a party thing after. But the interesting thing is, I know, 45 for 18, whatever, years, for a very long time. And that's why I was the first one at Fox News to say, when you know the measure of somebody, you know what they're capable of and how they work and how they operate and how they think. And if they're a mentally strong, a mentally tough person, which I am, and he is, I knew that he could beat those 16 people, that he would prevail, and that I knew that he was what this country needed to get it back on track. Somebody that was a totally different kind of thinker, that was an executor, that achieved, because in his life, people would say, oh, no, you can't do this or you can't achieve that. Sure, he had a father that was, successful, but Donald J. Trump took it 10x, next level. And there wasn't anything that he didn't put his mind to that he didn't try to get after and achieve. He's the same, wired the same way. So that's why I was super excited. I was like, okay, wait, think about it. I was a prosecutor and worked as a special education teacher, a model, did Victoria's Secret, Mesa, all kinds of stuff. And then people are like, oh, wait, now you're going to be a journalist and you're going to anchor television. Yeah, I am. Watch me. And then I went into Court TV, had my own show there, CNN analyst, not legal and, political, Good Morning America. So, I've seen a lot and I've worked a lot, and it was great. Come on, what do I necessarily know about the weather? But I taught myself about it because I used to crack up. I'm like, this is a Fox News extreme weather alert. I'm like, how the hell am I doing the weather around here, baby?
But everybody does something for the first time.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. You write a book, you never wrote a book before. So, everything everybody does successfully, at some point they hadn't done it. So is that why you had a lot of belief in Donald that he could pull it off, because you had pulled off these other careers successfully transitioning?
Yeah, absolutely. And you recognize, somebody who's strong and tough. I'm like, yep. We relate, and he and I have always gotten along. He always says, my Kimberly, she's a killer. She's a killer. I just do what she says. My Kimberly asks me and I say, yes, Kimberly.
That's hilarious.
And it's funny, but he knows that I'll fight to the death for him. There's no question. And that's another thing. I think I am a very loyal person. When I'm with you, I am with you 1,000%. And it's an incredible feeling. I know the people have told me in my life, I love that you have my back. You're so strong and smart, and you're tough as hell. And I fight to the end. And I really admire that quality, in somebody else as well. And I love people who at least try. You don't know necessarily what's going to happen. I want everyone to have that chance, like equality of opportunity. The result depends on what you're willing to do, to put into it, to make it happen. And that's what I tell people. And so one of my favorite things to do is to help somebody else grow their life, their business, to learn something new, because once you get them to try one thing, oh, okay, look, I can do this. They're fired up. They're inspired to try to go out there and get after it for them, for their family, and to do something interesting. Another thing that I really believe in, I always tell people, follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. Because if you're happy and passionate about something, you enjoy it, find a way to turn that into a way to make money, or to provide, or to take your life to the next level. And I've seen it happen time and time again. Do something that you're interested in, that you enjoy, and take it from there. And, I have a son who's 16, and I tell him the same thing. And I said, don't be afraid to start somewhere. He's like, yeah, absolutely. He goes, and I said, look, there's the Chick-fil-A. Look at that Chick-fil-A guy driving the Chick-fil-A car. He's like, yep, you got to start somewhere. And I said, exactly. So never be too proud to take a job and to work hard.
So the night he won, okay, now you're pulling for him. You know he can beat the 16, but did you like?
Oh, and
honestly,
everybody, there's so many people in the newsroom. He's not going to win. He can't do it. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to laugh in all your faces when this is done.
yeah, but like you went
so
in,
many
you went
haters,
in,
you know?
but you went in with complete confidence he was going to win that night. I mean, I did not have that. I did not have that conviction. I believed he was going to win the second time, and I was wrong. And I didn't think he'd pull off the first time, and I was wrong.
Yeah, I really, really believed he was going to win. And
Wow.
I've said it on the air many, many times. Everybody kind of, around the inner circle politics knows it. Trump has talked about it. He said, you were the first person. I was the first, not Sean
That's
Hannity,
cool.
anything like that. Everyone was supporting different candidates. The first person to go on the air and say, I'm behind Trump 100%. And it was an opinion show, so I could say what I want, right? Give my opinion and my belief. And I was really excited about it. So I loved following it. I went to, because we were covering it, right, at Fox, and we were in the field a lot. So whether it was the RNC, the conventions, all of that, the debates we covered, I was there and I would be live, doing coverage of it. So I was like up close and personal with him all the time, and he would give me interviews, and we have a very good relationship, a very strong relationship, and everybody knows it.
Kimberly, so when I see the rallies, right? Because I was like, man, there's 30,000 people there, 24,000. I mean, I'm like, that's real, right? But when I see the other side, I know behind all these things, whether you're Democrat or Republican or whatever in between, there's business owners there, there's households, there's people worried about their budgets, their finances.
Yeah.
How important is politics and to the effect of business without being political? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the effect of politics on businesses?
Well, I mean, are you saying because people get up, they use their ideology and have bias one way or the other?
I'm just saying business people are like, I don't want to be political, but I'm like, but politics actually does affect your business and your ability to be in business and to bring a profit home and take care of you.
Absolutely. I just think it's foolish. I mean, you've got to like vote, with common sense and with your dollar to say, like, where do I feel that this country should be going? Where do I think we can go with a strong economy, jobs, so that businesses can be prosperous and hire more people and expand and get that whole flow in there? It does start with politics. It starts with the laws on the books. It starts with the taxes on the books. And that's why it's like, look at the difference between the Trump economy. I don't care if you like him or not. Yeah, are you going to lie about it? We were doing far better then as a country than we're doing now with Joe Biden. Joe Biden has just been a paycheck collector for 50 years on the, government public, payroll. And what has he done with it? I mean, what businesses has he ever built? And that's why I say to people, does it surprise you that President Trump went in there and on day one knew what he was doing? He knows how to make and build businesses. He understands the economy. I mean, I think it's imperative to have a businessman and someone with background like that, not just a career politician. That makes no sense to me. That's not how a country grows and thrives and prospers. I'm a big, free market person. I'm a capitalist. Let's let everyone get in there and compete and get after it. And may the best company that is putting out the best product or treats their customers the best or has the best incentives and let them, prevail. That's why I'm involved with Public Square. And Don Jr. and I are, because that's America's marketplace. And it's like, if people want to know, hey, I want to vote with my dollars. I want to support companies that support the ideas, the beliefs that I have. You can go right on there and you can check it out and see it. And I love that idea because so many people are tired of, putting their dollars in with woke companies that hate your guts, are going to use it to spend against everything you believe in. I mean, you see a lot of that course correction, and that is, politics affecting the economics 100%. And
so coming up with this next election, like what will happen for you in the next 18 months? What will you be doing? Are you going to working your ass off every day? Like,
yes. And we traveled, Don Jr. and I were on the road, to the top surrogates, for the president, doing all the rallies, doing all the speeches. I was doing fundraising events, and we were in every single state, I think, except Hawaii. We didn't know necessarily we were going to get the votes there per se, but it's just really important. The whole family works very, very hard to be able to do this, and we want to fix the country. We want to get the economy and everything, back on track, want to be respected again. The national security issue is very important. It's very destabilizing what's going on, in this country right now. And it's troubling to me. I'm actually worried about the direction we're going. And that's why I think it's imperative that we get Trump someone actually who knows what he's doing, that has done the job and done it well, doesn't need the training wheels. So I don't care if you're a governor or a senator or whatever, it's not the same as going in there and being the president of the United States and running things and getting it done ASAP like that.
So how many live events do you think you'll do in the next, because I know their work ethic is
thousands. Thousands.
I'm a beast when I work. That family is like another level of work.
Oh, absolutely. And Don and I would do anywhere, sometimes between 4 to 6 states a day. We would hit so many different stops and just running nonstop and go from one rally and one thing. And we supported. We went and showed up for every senator and congressman and anybody was like America first and a Trump, person endorsed, etc. That's what we did.
Let me ask you, go ahead.
I was just going to say something different that I did. It was another thing. He's like, oh no, that's never been done before. We've never done it like that. I made all the congressmen and senators that we helped and campaigned for and that were supporting the president work for me. They had to provide like reports, everything of the fundraising they were doing to their donors, their friends, their community, and had it almost like a bundling competition. So I always said ABB, always be bundling, meaning collecting money, collecting. So I was saying to people, listen, you benefited from President Trump. Let me see your loyalty, your commitment. What have you done for him? And they all had to come in and do that. And we did Zooms and did reports, and they collected money to support the president. You can't just be a taker. This isn't one way. There's got to be reciprocity here. So we're doing for you, you're going to do for us. And then they'd have to provide me the reports. And then I would go and tell them who won and who was doing the best. And I said, well, I'm going to go get this report and present it to the president. So you have until Friday to get more money and you're not working hard enough.
You're a beast, man. You look awesome, by the way. You look like you're getting younger, younger and younger.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
well, I think because I'm like happy and fired up. I mean, God bless. I mean, I look like my mother and father, which I'm very happy about, God bless them because it makes me, think of them and remember them. I love when I see my son because he looks like my father and a little bit like my mother as well. So it's a nice way to keep the memory and the feeling alive, which is sweet. But I would want to look whatever way my parents looked, to be honest with you, because it's just a way to be connected.
Well, they got to be they got to be very proud of you, what you've done in your life and so many different things you've done. You're a great example of people that can do anything.
Thank you. Can I tell you something that's really important? I tell people, and I do a lot of mentoring with young people as well, and whatever age, you know what I'm saying? Because it's always the right day to make a change and do something great in your life. But, I tell people yes, you've got to believe in yourself, but also honor your mother and father. Don't do anything that would dishonor your mother and father and how hard they've worked for you. And think about that. If you're having and making a decision, you're out, you're doing something, how are you going to feel about this when you wake up in the morning? And how would your parents feel about what you're doing? And that's why I feel like every day my mom and dad in heaven smiling because they're saying, Kimberly is getting after it. And, it's just such a happiness to be like, she's living her life. And my dad told me before he died, he said, Kimberly, just enjoy your life, work hard, take time and, don't ever change your heart. If people aren't behaving right or doing that, don't let them change who you are inside. And don't ever allow yourself to be anybody's punching bag. So, if you're going to be a bad person and you're going to act up and you're going to try to do something to me or to one of my friends or family, I'm coming after you. I don't care if it takes 5 minutes or 10 years. I'm all about justice. And I don't like bad guys and I don't like bad behavior or disrespectful people. Like there's a way to be in life, and most things in life you can understand. It's very clear what the right thing to do and what the wrong thing to do is.
Two questions before we leave. What is your prediction for 2020? What is it? When are we? 2024?
2024? Yeah. So President Trump is going to win the primary. And people have asked me, Tucker asked him the other night, well, what are you going to do? What happens if, they convict you or et cetera, et cetera? He's not going to withdraw. He's not that way. It's just not who he is. It's not.
He'll win from jail.
Trump let me tell you something.
I believe he would, by the way.
The original honey badger, okay? And the honey badger don't give a, because he's going to just get after it. He's going to do what he believes and stand for what he believes. And that's why these people, it's like reverse kryptonite. It's just making him stronger because they 100%. Keep trying to hit him. And he's like that. Like, and they go, oh, when he does mean tweets. Okay. Are we really going to make the qualification about president because someone writes a mean tweet? Do you think Vladimir Putin is going to be offended by it? No. You need someone who's going to go after Putin, be able to stand up to Kim Jong-un, got to be able to stand up to President Xi so China doesn't eat our lunch and try to destroy our currency. Do you see what's happening right now? I mean, devaluing the dollar, wants to change in currency. People, open up your eyes and pay attention because you are getting smoked right now. So if you're going to stand back and be complicit in it, shame on you. I'm going to be part of the solution. I'm going to fight like hell to get President Trump in. So we're all going to work. This is a family of workers and they only know one way, which is kick ass, and they are unbreakable. So it just doesn't matter. You can write 30,000 stupid fake articles and say whatever you want. It's not going to bother us. It's not going to affect us. We're going to remember. We're going to remember who's been naughty and who's been nice. But other than that, we're too busy like winning and crushing it.
What is the last question? All right, Kimberly, I really appreciate your time being here. What has been the hardest part of running with that crew?
You know, I think it's just like the constant attacks. It upsets me sometimes personally to see them go after President Trump and like persecute him, especially as a prosecutor. I have such a respect. I took an oath to uphold the law and to be, fair and neutral, not arbitrary or have bias. And when I see a profession that I was so proud of to be part of dishonored in the way that I've seen, like with Alvin Bragg and these Soros-backed prosecutors, it's really important. I mean, there's a reason George Soros puts all this money into politics, right? It affects the economy. It affects everything. So it does matter. So
the hard part's been just watching the media that you came from just changed so much to become such a point.
The media, the prosecutors, like, Law and Order, just seeing them go after President, it upsets me because, and I care about him and I know who he is. Like, our kids are like, okay, it's grandpa, and I think that hard part is too, because, we have kids that have to listen to this or, we get some freaks after us, if you get my point. So, but it's unbelievable. But, so I want to be just protective and supportive and just really like loving and nurturing to our children. Donna and I have, 6 combined, and I've been with them since they were very little, Wow. His youngest giving her bottle and taking care of her, and they're great kids. And I just, I want them to have a great life and a world and a country that they're proud of and that they recognize. And I want that for all the people that I know and for their families. So it's always good to be able to like fight because you're fighting for the right thing and you're fighting, for other people. And I think that's the right thing to do.
You're awesome. You've been fighting and I know you're going to keep fighting. And I really appreciate my wife and I, my family appreciate you being a great example of a woman that's made it and keeps making it and is not satisfied and being a great patriot to support America and be a great, courageous example. So thank you so much.
I really appreciate you and God bless to you and your family as well. And thank you for helping so many people. And I think this was probably the best interview that I've ever had because you were fantastic, the questions and everything that you asked.